Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soulprism Podcast, where we share bite-sized nuggets of wisdom for your body, mind, and soul to serve you, the emerging soulpreneur. My name is Tammy Mack, and I'm really excited to be talking to Polly Pollock today. Polly is a business and marketing mentor for Neurospicy online business owners, and she's a huge believer that business success isn't linear. She helps her students create marketing systems that not only help them create consistent sales, but actually feel sustainable. I'm really excited about this conversation because if you have been watching the Soulprism podcast for a while, we are all about creating sustainable business that is really a win-win-win for everyone. So welcome, Polly.
Thank you so much for having me.
I would love to talk about how did you get into being a business advisor, business mentor, consultant for our Neurospicies?
So it was definitely by accident, like the best things are. I actually started out in the spiritual industry. So I started out as a tarot reader, Reiki therapist. That was when I actually had my business offline. Then when I came more into the online world, I started going down more the kind of spiritual life coaching route. Got really into my shadow work. I'm actually a published author on a shadow work book, which is awesome. That was quite interesting with writing a book with ADHD. So yeah, that was fun. And so I went down that kind of realm and more it really was by accident because I was getting asked more and more if I could help with business and marketing, and where that was kind of my natural like stomping grounds because of my corporate background in marketing and sales. I was like, well, yeah, now that I get the best of both because I get to help spiritual entrepreneurs with the thing that I do really well. And I kind of secretly enjoyed it more than the spiritual work that I was doing at the time. And I felt like, oh my God, this is blasphemy. Like, this is so bad. Like, why do I enjoy this more? But actually, the more I kind of did it, the more I realized, oh, I enjoy it more because I'm actually helping women to get their work seen. And this feels really good. So how it kind of led to, obviously I was kind of exclusively helping soulpreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs at that point, because that was kind of my field. And then I kind of came out of the business mentor closet, definitely got into that world. And more and more I was seeing how not just spiritual entrepreneurs, but all types of coaches and service providers and creatives were coming to me now, and they were all neurodivergent. So I was seeing a real pattern there. I did my client feedback 1 year and I was like, okay, yeah, this is not coincidence. So then I exclusively went to being a business and marketing mentor, or now a marketing and sales mentor for neurodivergent online business owners. So it's kind of a weird journey.
I love that so much. I love that we have women that are helping other women, and not just women, but everyone who are neurospicy, right? Business as we know it has always been for the neurotypical, right? And you and I were talking about this before, where the neurotypical is very logic-based, is very from the mind. But if you're neurospicy, we lead from the heart. Like soulpreneurs, we lead from the heart. Therefore, we don't want to use the same business tactics or linear ways of thinking that a neurotypical person may, really enjoy. We're leading from a different place. And I would love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, you're so right. Like, I think it's so interesting because the systems that we go through in life repeat in business, and the structures that we never got along with in school or with our parents or in the workplace absolutely repeat when you start being an entrepreneur. I think it's so interesting because I see a lot of the time neurodivergent entrepreneurs reject the idea of structure altogether. And they're like, exactly that, I want to just lead from the heart. I want to post when I'm inspired. I want to just do something when I'm lit up. And while that's all well and good, it's like also to their detriment because we need that structure, but it doesn't have to be that linear, rigid, yucky, like, I don't want to do this kind of structure. And that's the beauty of it, is that we have the choice to either use structures that feel like, you know, not very good, or we can build our own structures that, you know, allow us to operate from both our heart and our head, so we can run a successful business. And not, because, you know, running your business from inspiration solely is probably the most anxiety inducing thing that I've ever experienced. And I know that my students feel the same. And, you know, meeting the two is really where that sweet spot is, and making it work for you, for sure.
I love that so much, because yes, it's not either or, it's and, right?
Yeah, right.
We really want to create businesses that give us the space to be able to be in flow, to be able to channel in our inspiration, and yet have some sort of a system or foundation that is going to serve us as well. So it's systems and soul.
That's it. Yeah, you've summed it up, systems and soul, exactly. Because I feel like, you know, whether it's your offer that you're putting out there, or content, or creating anything, if you had just systems, it would be so boring, and you'd have no brand, you'd have no voice. Why would people choose you beyond your expertise? You know, and we need both. But then if you just had the voice and the brand, and no systems, you know, and no reason for people to buy into what you're selling, essentially, that flops as well. So it's like nature. It's meeting the masculine and the feminine, and that's the sweet spot. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, I love that so much. So tell me, how is it that you help, you know, our Neurospicies in business? Like, give us a few tidbits that can help us with that.
Yeah, so we tend to focus, obviously, within the realm of marketing. It's online marketing. So we tend to focus on three main kind of parts, or pillars. I really tend to just work within my one signature program. So we focus on visibility, so sustainable visibility. And this is not going viral and, you know, pining over real views or whatever it is, or content metrics. Yes, of course, we use those things for like data, so that, again, you can look at what's working, cut out anything that isn't, cut out things you don't enjoy or things that are sucking your energy, and so that you can double down on what is working. But we don't look at visibility as this like granular thing of like just like Instagram metrics. So the thing that I love about the work that I do with my students is that every single student will have a completely different plan. So when we look at the realm of visibility for one person, that might be mostly on socials, but for another person, that could be getting visible off of socials. So really looking at like collaborating, or doing something that involves a deeper connection, or maybe this one student wants to completely run their business from their email list. Like, there is no right or wrong, and every business model, every person, every mission is different. And then we look at community building. Obviously, your community is what is going to generate you sales. It's the most important part beyond visibility. I feel like the sales part is a byproduct of the visibility and community. So we look at, again, where do you want to build your community? What feels authentic to you to build your community? And how are you really going to go about doing that in a way that feels genuine? Because I think a lot of the Neurospicies they're like, well, I don't want to just shout at people in content. And it's like, well, A, that doesn't work anyway, so good news. But B, like, yeah, you want to create a community where you feel like you're actually connected to people, and where we are so led from the heart. That often, I think, is something that is missed out among the neurotypical advice of like, just post more. And it's like, well, just posting more isn't going to create your community. So it's gonna, yeah, maybe it will like get you a few more views, but it's not going to move the needle that way, and it's not going to give you that fulfillment. And then of course there's the sales piece, which, as I said, is really a byproduct of those two. But it's also having the confidence and conviction to talk about your offer loud and proud, making sure that it gets in front of the right people, and making sure that you are obviously providing that clarity for people to become clients, and making sure you're taking the right actions there. But all of that really is kind of laced in sustainable structures and external systems and internal systems that are going to make everything that you've learned, everything that you're trying to take action on, doable. So this is where all of the planning comes in. As I said before, one plan might work for this student and won't work for the others. So my goal as a marketing mentor is to make sure that everything we set up is going to be not only sustainable, but like you're actually going to enjoy it, and you're going to be like, I love marketing. I can't wait to get up in the morning to do this.
I love that so much. I love that what you're talking about is that we are all individuals, you know, the way that we are, and especially the neurospicies, right? Or the soul led, like we are very, we're the outliers. We're individuals. We're not here to conform. We're not here to be like everyone else. So your business plan, your marketing plan, your calling is going to be very, very unique. And your uniqueness is what sells, not the vanilla, not what everyone else is doing, but what your specific message and the way that you share it as an individual is going to be so different. And so having a business mentor or marketing plan built for your energy, for your, your calling, for what it is that you love to share, it's so important. So you don't, like, as you said, you feel authentic. You feel like you're in integrity with your message and what it is that you're sharing. We talked about something, I really want to bring this in because I know so many of us right now, we have these big ideas. Like maybe, right now as we're filming this, it's right before the solstice, and it's right before the Gemini new moon. And so we're getting all these downloads, we're getting all of these ideas, and we're like, what do we do with it? What do we do with this big idea, especially as someone who is soul-led or someone, and maybe neurospicy? How do you help somebody with the big idea?
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a really common thing, is people having 100 different ideas at once. And again, I'm a very rebellious soul, you know what I mean? Like, I don't tend to like systemized things unless I've made them, unless I've done it, right? And then I'm like, well, this is my version, so I love it now. But really what helps to manage those ideas is planning them out. Like, because do you know what? I find it ironic because some people are, again, rejecting the idea of structure because it's like, well, I have ideas and I don't want to plan so much that I never get to bring those ideas to life. And then I'm like, well, if we look at your notebook graveyard of ideas, those ideas never come to life and you're not planning it, babe. You know what I mean? So let's plan some of these ideas. Let's look at which one of these ideas is has the best chance of succeeding, is going to work for you, and actually is going to be doable for you. And then let's plan and bring it to life. Like, quarterly planning is something that I really, really love to encourage, because you're looking at the next 3 months and it's like, okay, how can we actually bring these ideas to life and then plot them out so that you actually take action? Because something that we're very, very good at doing as neurospicies is having the ideas and then not taking any action, or having I guess just demand avoidance, or what's it called, analysis paralysis, where you're like, okay, I've got this idea, and then it's like, oh my god, now it's too much to think about and I just don't want to do it. So planning it out in a gentle, fun way, where you can just have it come to life, but not all 100 of them, maybe 2 of the 100, and see how you go, because we don't want it to get overwhelming either.
I really like that. And the way that I talk about business is building cyclical businesses, right? So for many of us, we want to build a business that becomes a legacy, a business that I want to make money while I sleep, right? And so I've been doing this for 5 years. And so I love what you're talking about, planning. Of course, I create a plan every year, but I also know that I've been doing this for 5 years. And through my 5 years, I know when I have the most energy. I know when I don't have the most energy. I know that this is what I love to talk about during Leo season. This is what I love to talk about during, winter solstice. And so having a flexible framework to allow your energies to move through you, right? That way, you get a big idea, you already have a framework or a business plan or some sort of a system that can allow that dream to be birthed, rather than it, like you said, being all scattered in the head, and we're not embodied and we're not taking action from that dream.
Yeah, no, you're so right. You're definitely, and that's really what I think the neurospicy structure is is having that flexibility to be creative within the structure. Like the structure, like neurotypical structure is really, I'm not surprised that people hate them. I hate them. And I was resistant to structure probably for the first like year and a half of my business. I was like, not doing it. I can just fly by the seat of my pants and I'll be fine. I was not fine, but I think that those structures weren't the one. But, you know, the neurotypical structures are very much like, I'm going to give you 30 days of content prompts and you're going to follow them and then you're going to make sales. And then they're like some chat GPT prompts that don't work anyway. It's like, or it's just, you know, not the ones that are going to allow you to actually like light up your, like bring your creative spark to life. So taking content as an example, something that I see really often is like from new students is, oh yeah, I just post when I have something to say, and I feel like I'm posting loads, but people aren't engaging or buying, and I feel like no one's interested. And it's like, okay, so we put it into a structure, and the thing that we tend to use, probably the only like real, like, it's not rigid, but it's definitely got a formula. It's probably the only thing that we use in my world that has a formula, but it's called the SPICE formula. So it goes on a rhythm of like a 5-day week, but obviously if you post 3 days, you can adjust it and stuff like that. So S is for storytelling, P is for point of view and perspective, I is for inspire, C is for connection and call out, and E is for education. So you're covering everything that your client needs, whether that's on like email or socials. But within that, you can then say, okay, what are my content pillars? How can I like mix it up? How can I then look at, okay, let's say we're planning quarter to quarter and you're someone who really loves to work with maybe the moon phases or the seasons or the wheel of the year. I know I'm going to want to talk about X in Leo season. So how can I actually take, the rhythm and the formula that's going to be good for my client? How can I bring in some themes that I'm going to want to talk about into that plan? So you're not ever feeling like, damn, it's Leo season and I've got this stupid content structure that I have to work with, so I can't talk about what I want to talk about. You know, you're again combining both, and it just works so well for people. And it's just, it moves the needle at the same time. So it's something that I encourage.
I love that your SPICE didn't talk about FOMO, didn't talk about pain point manipulation, didn't talk about adding all the fluff to your stuff because you don't think you're good enough, didn't talk about, you know, all of the time deadlines and the fake scarcity and all that thing. It was really genuine from who it is that you are. Like, it's very, very easy to be authentic when you are talking about your stories, when you're talking about your, you know, your way of seeing things, your perception. It's very easy to talk about that kind of stuff rather than feeling forced into this old metric of, okay, you gotta dig in those pain points, you gotta make them feel like you're a guru and you're the only one that can save them. And so I really love supporting business owners that are moving away from that and moving towards more authentic and integrity and really community based, right? Creating those win-win-win situations, right? So there's no competition in that whatsoever.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, with the fake scarcity and those like real outdated techniques. So obviously, let's use launching as an example. Let's say you're in a launch or a promo period, and the basic launch calendar will say, you know, create FOMO by saying X, Y, and Z. It's like FOMO is something that is, I mean, I think it's just actually like wanting to be included that you create rather than fear of missing out. And that's created naturally when you share like the vibe of your community and people are like, I want to be in that energy. That's my shit. Like, I want to do that. So you don't have to try. And then things like, you know, fake countdown timers, everyone's seeing through that stuff. And they're not ethical. You know, of course, if you're in a launch and your doors are closing in 2 days, you're going to say, I'm closing my doors in 2 days. That's fine. Like, it's not by now or forever, like, regret the decision you've made. And it's just, it's so cringe. I think, we're definitely moving away from that. People are catching on to, you know, the fact that they don't want to be shamed. And I think the difference between, like, for example, in the SPICE formula, C is for connect and call out. By call out, I don't mean like, you know, you're doing this wrong. I mean, like, call out the experience and connect with the experience, because making people feel seen through your content and your marketing is so important. And that does mean relating to the struggle and the pain that they are in, but you are relating to the pain. And you're saying, I see you in this pain. Sorry, that was my phone. That should be on silent. I see you in your struggle and I totally empathize. So it's really empathy marketing, whereas pain point marketing is, so I'll give this as an example. I saw this the other day and it made me literally want to put my phone through a wall. It was something about trial reels on Instagram. And it was like, I've just created 100 trial reels on this app while you're still there, like, trying to create one. Like, that's pain point marketing. That's the kind of stuff that we're all over. So it's, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, in Rise of the Soulpreneur, it's a book that I wrote. I was talking about, I called it trauma-based marketing, right? Because it really is picking on your trauma. And so it's dysregulating your nervous system.
Yeah.
And so when you have a dysregulated nervous system, you're not making a full-bodied decision, right?
No.
It's from the head, and it's from fear, it's from scarcity, it's from pain point manipulation. But I don't like trauma-informed marketing. That's I don't want that language, but it's more empathy. It's more nervous system-based marketing, which is where we're moving into, because as you were saying with that example, there is a lot of noise out there right now. And so the message that we want to share can't be noisy. And so it has to be in resonance. And like you said, the vibe, right? You feel this rather than you think this, or rather than, you know, you're doing it because everyone else is doing. This feels like a full-bodied yes versus a scarcity, I got to get it because, and then you never open it or you regret buying it, right? We don't want that anymore. And so creating a marketing plan and a business where you know that you're serving from empathy, you're serving from compassion, and you're serving because you want to make a difference, and it's not just about money.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I think also, like, the online business world has changed so much in the last 5 and 10 years. I think where there is now, like, buying services or hiring someone in some format has become, like, fairly normal. It's normal, you know, especially if you're a business or whatever. I think because people have had experiences where it's been, you know, buy now or miss out, and people are kind of catching on to, well, the last time I did that, it didn't go right. I had a bad experience or something like that. And I think people are naturally waiting. I mean, I know this because, you know, from a real nerdy point of view, people have gone from needing like 1 to 2 months to be warmed up in your audience to like 3 to 6 months now. So it's really, from like a statistical standpoint, it's definitely what is happening. And part of that is people want to be able to make that full body choice, not from a place of, you know, well, this. And I feel like the crumbling of the ego driven marketing, especially in the coaching industry, is coming down. And this is why I always say to my students, like, your credibility is so important. People are no longer buying into ego and like the it girl BS. Like, people are buying into your credibility and whether you make them feel safe enough to make that choice. And I really do believe that.
I love that so much, because you are speaking my language right now. And I'm a nerd. Like, I am an Aquarius. I'm a futurist. I am like looking at 100 years into business, like down the road.
Yeah.
And with AI and with everything that is happening now, we are craving connection. We're craving relationships. We're craving experience. We are craving feeling. And so we are seeing this shift from just product based, you know, what am I getting, right? You know, all the information, which is it's cheap now, right? Information is cheap. But transformation and experience,
yes, definitely,
priceless. And that's, if you're a smart businesswoman, you know that is where we're heading, into the experience, into the service, into how is it that makes me feel and others feel as well, versus this is what you're getting, or you're going to learn this today, because those tactics and what you learn is going to be shifting so fast and is becoming free, like practically free, or very low cost. And so we want to move towards the experience. We want to move towards the feeling, the transformation.
Definitely. I mean, like, a good way to like future-proof this is like, what is AI physically unable to do? Like, what can it not do? That's what you need to double down on. And like, this is, I feel like people get so scared when they think of like AI, you know, and the information age being more of a thing in 5, 10, 20 years time. But it's like, this happens every 10 years. Can you imagine how people must have felt when like they had a business and then the internet became a thing? Like, I wasn't around like doing my business then, but you know, it's terrifying for every change, but you just got to remember that this has happened thousands of times, and you just roll with the punches, and you just future-proof your business, and it brings more depth to your work every time. And I think that that's kind of a beautiful thing. But, you know, yeah, AI is one of those things that can provide the information, which, to be totally honest, sometimes is inaccurate anyway, but it can provide the information, but it cannot provide that lasting transformation and that lasting change. Like, I have a lot of people come to me and they're like, yeah, I asked ChatGPT to explain the content side of things or the marketing side of things and make me a content plan and make me a marketing plan and everything that we on paper work on in my programs, and it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, because it's feeding you information. It's not working with you, looking at your energy cycles, your energy blueprints, and looking at what is actually going to be sustainable for you, because it's not a coach. It can't, you know, it's not a service provider, it's information. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, I know so many people right now who spend hours and hours and hours on ChatGPT, and they're just in their head. Like, nothing ever happens, nothing ever moves. No. They're just like ideas. Oh my, and nothing actually ever happens. And so having somebody there to help you actually take those ideas and move them into your body, into action, is so important.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I love this conversation so much. And you and I could probably talk all day about this, because I'm just fired up about this. Do you have a free gift, or do you have anything that you can give Soulprism that can like get them into your world?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I think content is, whether you're email or social media, content seems to be the main thing on people's mind, I think, when they think about marketing, and content's the thing that feels the most overwhelming. So I do have a free neuro-friendly content kit that basically goes into everything that we discussed from the SPICE formula. So mapping out that structure for you, so you can input that creativity into a formula that moves the needle in the way that it should, brings people actually into your world, warms them up, and then creates that client relationship. And then you'll have your content pillars, that kind of thing on there. And it's all on a calendar view, so that it can be right in front of you, and you can plan it ahead or not. Or you can just input your ideas into the boxes as you please. And there's a little training with that as well that goes into it a little bit more. So that will basically take the overwhelm out of content marketing.
Polly, that was such a beautiful example of where we are moving into marketing right now, because it used to be the PDF, like free PDF, right? Which, once again, doesn't really do anything. And now we have to build authenticity. We have to build authority. And so in order to do that, you have to provide more than just a free PDF, right? Like, so you are providing not just a free PDF, but actually training with it, so they can feel you, they can feel your vibe, they can feel your energy, and they can decide, is this somebody I want to work with in the future or not? So I want to celebrate you for sharing what a beautiful lead magnet, or what a beautiful entryway for somebody to work with you is, because we can't be lazy with this anymore.
No, yeah, the days of that is like the free PDF days are definitely over. Like, I know if I was to put everything that's in that calendar on a PDF and then give it to my Neurospicy audience, they're going to be like, what do you expect me to do with this? So, which is why it's like an interactive note. I don't know if you've used Notion, but it's like a Notion calendar view. So it's all like, you can literally input it. It's like, it's really user friendly. But yeah, you're right. And, you know, my piece of advice with lead magnets, especially, and anything is just listen to your audience, you know, communicate, ask what people want. Like, I feel like we've lost that kind of touch and we're guessing, or we're asking ChatGPT, give me a lead magnet idea. And it's saying, here's a PDF file you can use, you know? So just, I think really getting into like the trenches with your people and really finding out what your people want from you is just listening, you know?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Polly, so much for being on the Soulprism podcast. I truly enjoyed spending time with you. I love what you're doing. I love who you're serving. And I want to thank you so much for your contribution. So thank you so much, Polly.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really fun.
All right, everyone, that's it for Soulprism Podcast, and we'll see you again.